Good evening, Chip and Company. Welcome to Disney News in Review. I am coming to you live from, where am I at? I'm at the Boardwalk and Yacht Club. Beach Club. Why am I saying that? I'm at Beach Club. I always get Beach Club and Boardwalk confused. I'm at the second floor of Beach Club right now. It is marathon week down here at Disney World. It's an amazing week. There is a lot of people in town. It's amazing down here, guys. Let me introduce you to our panel tonight. We have Chip Confer from Chip and Company. Chip, thank you so much for having us and supporting this endeavor. How are you feeling? I know you are a little under the weather. You're not going to talk much, so give us a thumbs up or let us know how you're doing.
I'm feeling okay. I'm sundowning right now. I have the COVID.
Oh, this is why I'm doing it in a mask indoors. Disney forces you to do a mask.
Yeah, I need to get like a tissue or talk like that.
Yeah. Kaitlyn Hogenkamp, the entertainment reporter for Chip and Company, is here with us again this week. Thanks so much for being here. Kaitlyn, how was your New Year's?
It was really good. We had a great time ringing in the New Year's. The little one wound up staying up till midnight with us. The trick was getting her to sleep afterwards. But we had a blast.
That's excellent. I love hearing that. Our kids would make it to about 9 o'clock. We would do a big countdown and then send them to bed. And then I think once they hit about 8 or 9 years old, they were like, yeah, we're staying till midnight. You'd find them passed out about 11 p.m. somewhere.
Oh, yeah. We made sure to tune into the live Disney Park stream. So we got the full Disney magic to ring in the new year. It was great.
Oh, those fireworks. I know I'm going off script already, but those fireworks on New Year's Eve, we went on New Year's Eve and we watched them from the Polynesian. Amazing. Just, you could see all around and the fireworks in the perimeter. Amazing. How was it watching Disney Parks live?
I wish we got the 360. I've witnessed it a few times in person, but I do got to say, they still put on a pretty good show, even virtually.
I love it. So, hey, listen, for our chat out there, if you're out there, if you guys want to interact, please send us a message, chat up, whatever you want. We will interact with you if we can. Chip has the way of putting your messages up onto our screen so we can say hello to you. So, hello all. Holly, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, there you go. Holly is actually sitting across from me, so she gets the thing. There's Kaitlyn saying hello right there. So thanks, guys, so much for joining us. Let's get into it. We got a lot to go through. The 2022, we made it through 2021. We did the news and review last week, Chip and I. What's going on for 2022? Well, let's start off in a sad way. I hate bringing this up, but 2021 ended in the worst possible way. We lost a legend. Betty White passed away at 99 years old. I think it's the people's curse. I'm not going to go into that, but so just a little bit. I'm going to say a little bit about Betty White, and then I'm going to pass it over to Kaitlyn because she's more knowledgeable than I am. Betty White, first off, nobody has anything negative to say about this lady. It's nothing but love. Kaitlyn, have you ever seen such love for one entertainer?
I could only hope that I get to 99 years old and everyone's like, it's too soon. Like that if that doesn't speak volumes about her legacy, I do not know what does.
Right. And just listen to the last 10 years. And again, this is just the last 10 years of her life. The Lorax. She was Betty White in Toy Story. She did some stuff for Forky Asks a Question. And then her appearance in 2009 for Saturday Night Live has to be mentioned. It is one of the most watched episodes of all time. And man, I can't think of Betty White without thinking of that muffin skit, and I'm just leaving it at that. So, Kaitlyn, can you give us any more about Betty White? Because the legacy she leaves behind as both a performer, an animal rights not an activist, but she believed in saving animals. Just the biggest sweetheart in the world that we lost at the last day of 2021.
Well, exactly. And I mean, she left her mark on multiple generations. So I think that's one of the best things about her is that you can ask, anyone from nowadays, you can ask someone my age, you can ask someone like my mother's age, my grandmother's age, even my great-grandmother's age. They know the name Betty White. And there's very few actors that have gone on to live long enough to make such an impact on everyone. And I mean, her career is just riddled with success. Starting out in her early days, she was one of the first female producers in Hollywood. And not only that, she starred in her own show at that time, too, with Life with Elizabeth. She's gone on to do so many iconic roles. We've got her role in the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which then led to her getting her own show, The Betty White Show. She moved on and stole everyone's hearts as Rose Nyland in the cult classic Golden Girls. She's gotten 6 Emmy Awards, which is insane. She's won a Grammy. I mean, her role, I love her as Elka in Hot in Cleveland as well. Never stops, and I don't think there's a scene she's in that she doesn't steal. Let's just put it that way. She's just completely iconic. We're completely gonna miss her. I still gotta say though, one of my favorite roles, and I'm sure a lot of people my age this is the case. She was a total scene stealer as Grandma Annie in The Proposal.
I had forgotten about The Proposal.
Oh, I loved her so much, and it's so sweet that that's like one of the first few times that her and Ryan Reynolds got to meet, and he absolutely adores her. I know he was really stricken by her death.
Yeah.
And it's just, but it's great that she's always been a voice or a person in storytelling, especially like in mine and my parents' generations. She's just kind of always been there, either at a cameo or a voiceover role. And Hannah on our chat right now, she's is saying that she's her idol, and actually she met her friend had actually met her in person. So go ahead.
From Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, it was heartbreaking. So I don't want to spend too much time on a passing like this, but she deserves us mentioning it. As both she was awarded the Disney Legacy Award in 2009, if I'm not missing it.
Yeah, she is a Disney legend. So she got it for her role in television specifically, but she also got acknowledgement in film for them as well. And she absolutely loved it. She went to the various induction ceremonies and everything like that. She's also received 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards. She also did a ton of philanthropy when it came to work with animals as well, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah, so I got to say that, wow, just such a legend. And I'm sorry for bringing this up the first thing, but we, as an entertainment, as writing in the media and the news on Disney, you have to mention Betty White. You have to mention the Golden Girls. They are coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
She was about to have her 100th birthday is actually airing this week. Is that, or next week? Is that correct? What's going on with that?
On the 17th. Yeah. So I think the plan is still that they're going to be sharing that special. From my understanding, it was pre-recorded. So I don't know if they're going to be editing that because of probably the tenses that are going to use, because obviously she didn't make it to her actual birth date. So I'm not sure about what the editing process is going to be for that, but from my understanding, they are still planning on broadcasting the birthday special for her. I just probably is going to be more of in memory of her rather than in tribute to her actual birthday. So,
well, we will definitely report on that when that happens. So, again, thank you, Betty White, for all you've done. Let's move on. I want to say hi to Patricia in Tennessee, who's watching tonight. Thank you, Patricia, very much for watching. Mary in Florida, she's watching. We love you, Mary. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. All right, let's move on. The other big thing this week, and it's so hard to segue from something like Betty White. So I don't want that to feel like we're taking it lightly, because she deserves nothing but the accolades and love from all of us. Marcia is sending love from Suffolk, Long Island. Thank you so much for joining us from Long Island. It's so great on Chip and Co. We have people all over the world that watch this. So brand new show. This is episode 3, first of 2022. Welcome in. Let's move on. The other big thing this week, Book of Boba Fett episode 2 is dropped.
Yes. So we won't be sharing any spoilers, so don't tune away. But I gotta say, this was well worth the wait. Absolutely loving where the series is going to be headed and where I think it might be headed. We don't have confirmations on a couple things that I'm still aching to hear about from episode 1. But I gotta say, the series is hitting it off, and I know that a lot of folks have just been completely blown away by the fact that there's even so much storytelling that was done so physically in the first episode versus verbally, and you're just in awe of it no matter what. So I am so excited to see
you have me hooked. I am a Star Wars geek. I'm not even getting into it. Yeah, you have me beat right there. Like I get a wonderful impressionist painting behind me. You have a stormtrooper helmet. So let's not talk too much about it. We don't want to spoil it. We do have an
Yeah, no
article.
spoilers.
Please check chipandcompany.com, chipandco.com, or Facebook. You can read all about that. I gotta say, episode 1, and I was squealing at my TV. The 8-year-old in me leapt out because I was 8 when Return of the Jedi came out. So that's all I'm going to say. All right, 2022. We have a lot to look forward to, Kaitlyn. And you're going to be the one who guides us through this for entertainment. We're going to talk a little bit about Disney Plus. We're going to talk a little bit about movies. After we're done that, we're going to talk about parks and stuff. But let's get into the entertainment side of things. Disney Plus this year, what's coming up this year is just an enormous catalog. And I got to say, some of these things look fabulous. And we're going to start simple. Let's start off with the first things we have is some kid cartoons and cartoon versions of stuff. And returning characters. We have Baymax is coming back. And the preview looks so cute. I love Baymax.
He's absolutely one of my favorite animated characters to date. I don't know how you can't love Baymax. He's just so lovely. Like, Tadashi's design was perfect. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, of course. Let's see. What else we have? Judy and Nick are coming into a Zootopia Plus show. Zootopia doesn't get enough love at Walt Disney World, in my opinion. They're going to. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I just think Zootopia needs more love here in Walt Disney World. I
agree. And the story is great for all ages. So that's one of the things that makes that movie so magical, is that, like, it doesn't matter if you're 7 or you're 77, you'll find something in that movie that you can relate to and resonate with. And I think that's so important.
And then another kids show coming out, which is going to be on Disney Plus, along with Disney Junior and Disney Channel, is going to be the Alice in Wonderland Bakery. That looks quite interesting. Look, I don't have little ones anymore, so I normally don't tune into Disney Junior. And I'm okay with that. So I'm not a big, like, Bluey and all these other things. So it looks like it's going to be that type of show.
It is. And from my understanding, for anybody who might be panicking about it, it is not the traditional Alice from the movies. It is considered to be Alice's granddaughter on the maternal side. So there's a relation, but it's not that specific Alice. So we'll get some more modern take on what Wonderland means. So I'm excited to see that. And I'm sure my little one's excited too. She's a big Bluey fan. She absolutely loves Disney Junior. I don't think there's, like, every other day we're on Jake and the Neverland Pirates kick. So we'll see how she thinks of Alice's Wonderland Bakery.
Jake and the Neverland Pirates just came out when we were getting the kids a little bit older. So I got to miss out a little bit on that. But look, I love seeing Fancy Nancy and Doc McStuffins in Hollywood Studios. I love them. They're the cutest characters. And I'm a character person who will make sure that I go up and I'll meet and greet every character I possibly can. So I love those guys. All right, let's move on to some live action stuff coming to Disney Plus exclusively this year. We have Peter and Wendy. What can you tell us about Peter and Wendy?
So we have Peter Pan and Wendy. We are going to have some newcomers to the industry that are going to be featured in it. So very similar to how Star Wars was set up initially, where, you have Mark Hamill and, at the time, Carrie Fisher, who weren't very well known unless you were within the industry. They newer names, but they are going to be supported by long-term actor Jude Law as the evil Captain Hook, along with Jim Gaffigan, who is going to be playing Mr. Shmee. So that'll be a very interesting take. But we have Alexander Maloney taking on the role of Peter, and we have Ever Anderson is coming in as Wendy. I'm very excited to see Yara Shahidi as Tinkerbell. She's going to be the first person of color in that role. So that's going to be really exciting to see what Disney does. We also have Alyssa Pawanatak, who is going to be playing Tiger Lily. I'm very, very excited to see where this movie is going to go. And I'm not going to lie, I'm actually a little disappointed it's only going to be on Disney Plus, because I feel like this could have made it to theaters.
Yeah, look, I think Peter Pan and the stories that revolve around him, especially if you're coming from a Disney from Disney, and it should be in big screen. But all right, so speaking of
what
another
about
classic,
the Rescue Rangers? What about the Rescue Rangers? They're coming back.
I know, but they moved
Are you
it. It was
talking
supposed
Chip
to
and
be.
Dale to me? I
It
love
was
Chip and Dale.
Well, and it was supposed to be a series, but now they're just turning it into a movie. So I don't know if they just decided to shrink the story a little bit, or if we're just going to be maybe getting something to follow. That's one of my thoughts. So
I'll take any Chip and Dale I can possibly get. I promise you. I literally had to go to Shanghai to find Chip and Dale ears and have them shipped into America. So, yeah. All right. So our next big thing, Pinocchio. Pinocchio is making a big return this year. Again, the Blue Fairy apparently has some rumors around the Blue Fairy, which if you're doing a Pinocchio, I need the Blue Fairy. Like, I remember watching AI, and once I saw the Blue Fairy and everything come in, that whole movie connected with me so big. So what can we talk about Pinocchio coming to Disney Plus?
Well, the Blue Fairy definitely has a strong presence, and even now on social media, we've got Symphony Erivo is going to be taking on the role of the Blue Fairy, and this week we actually saw a bit of a sneak peek of her backstage. We got to see her in her costume, lined up for a shot, and luckily we also caught her singing. She was singing "When You Wish Upon a Star," so we can say for sure that is going to be in the film, and I'm so happy that that did not get cut.
Oh, I'm so happy I hear that brings me hope right there. If I hear "When You Wish Upon a Star," yeah, I'll be in tears. Like, again, the Pinocchio story has always resonated. I love seeing Pinocchio in the parks. I wish the Blue Fairy was more. I wish there was a Blue Fairy in the parks itself. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know if
she used to
Disneyland
lead the
does it.
parade. She used to lead the parade back in the day, and then that got taken over by Fairy Godmother, and I think then Tinkerbell followed. So
Yeah, well, I mean, it's cyclical, I guess, but I want the Blue Fairy. Okay, let's talk about the big live action coming to Disney Plus this year. And I know, hi, Paula, by the way, I did see your message up there, and Michael is out there. Let's talk about the big news, and this is what's going to get everybody hyped up, is Hocus Pocus Deuce. Hocus Pocus 2 is going to be coming out this fall. They are filming up in Rhode Island right now, and there's been a few shots coming out, and we are getting the Sanderson sisters back. Is this true?
Yes, the Sanderson sisters are back. We've got Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy reprising their roles. They are currently filming in Rhode Island, but don't worry, the story is still going to be taking place in Salem, Massachusetts. We have a new cast of character with a sprinkle of familiar faces that are coming in for the sequel. And though we don't have an official premiere date, we're predicting sometime in October, obviously for Halloween, but they're probably going to do so for the Halloween season versus on actual Halloween. Although you better bet I will be streaming both Hocus Pocus and Hocus Pocus 2 on Halloween while I pass out candy.
So what's the odds of getting Hocus Pocus 2 down here in the parks by that time? Do you think we're going to get something because it's coming out? Do you think they're going to do something special tying in with Mickey's Not So Scary if that comes back, or Boo Bash?
I definitely think something magical is brewing, and I highly doubt if they've been using the Sanderson sisters for basically the last decade in those shows that we wouldn't see some elements added into the parks then.
I think the merchandise, I don't mean, go ahead.
Oh,
I think one of the greatest things is the merchandise with the Sanderson sisters, especially at Halloween time. I think they're doing an amazing job at that. So go ahead. What were you saying?
I think we're definitely going to get some merchandise. I would definitely expect a few spirit jerseys, maybe some lounge flies. But one of the things I would be really excited to see is the snacks. Those are always my favorite at the holidays.
Oh, yeah. You got me right there at the snacks. Speaking of snacks, I just want to show you guys this real quick. So we're at Beach Club right now, and we got ourselves the new 50th anniversary tart, the chocolate mousse tart. Oh, I can't wait till this is over. No, I don't mean it that way, but I can't wait to dig into it. We'll talk about some treats in a few minutes. Okay. That's a lot. So far, that's a lot. And I didn't even mention a lot of the other shows that are coming out. So let's move on to Lucasfilms. We have a lot coming up with Lucasfilms on Disney Plus, beginning with Andor. Yes.
So we have several new series coming. Right now, we're in the movement of the Book of Boba Fett. But following suit and at a to be determined date, we do have the Andor series starring Cassian Andor, and we're going to get to see him before the events of Rogue One for obvious reasons. And it's going to be very exciting to see why Cassian joins the Resistance and get more into his backstory that we didn't really get to explore in Rogue One as we were following Jyn Erso. But it's going to give us insight into the Rebel Alliance and into the Resistance. And I think that's something that Star Wars fans are going to love to see, because we've always seen the action that they take, but we haven't really seen where that foundation is and why the movement is so strong up until, we get to the sequels. So it's going to be really great to see. I'm really hoping that we get K2SO back. Alan Tudyk is phenomenal in that role. One of my favorites. So I'm very excited for that show.
I am, like I said before, a huge Star Wars fan, and Rogue One spoke to me on so many levels. Like especially at the end, spoiler alert, I don't know. We talked about this last week, how long you have to wait for. Spoiler alert, when the Corellian Corvette comes over the head and Darth Vader comes out, and it's like, oh, I geeked out so hard on that. So K2SO, one of the best droids with a little bit of an attitude. I loved him on screen. I just can't wait to see the backstory, maybe of how everything happens. What else do we have going on?
So at the end of the year, get excited. We'll finally get The Mandalorian season 3 that has been postponed. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with Grogu, if we get to manage to follow him as well as Din Djarin in The Mandalorian.
And Luke Skywalker.
And get a little more Luke, which makes me also excited. But even though those get me really excited, this is the title I am excited for the most. We are getting the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and I am beyond stoked that Ewan McGregor is coming back, as well as Hayden Christensen in the role. And I do hear a few rumors that some of the action that we saw in the animated series may be featured in the show, and we might get to see a little more of Ahsoka as well, potentially involving Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. So we'll see how that goes. If I get
more Ahsoka in there, I would die, because was it Clone Wars was absolutely amazing. And then her in I just lost my place.
The Mandalorian. Yeah, you're
Thank
good.
you. The Mandalorian. Like, where did I just go?
No, you're fine.
That was amazing.
There's a lot happening at Lucasfilm right now, and that's great because we haven't had a lot of content the last couple of years out of Lucasfilm. I mean, the last is literally The Rise of Skywalker, and I mean, you've got The Bad Batch was great. I'm excited for season 2. Give me more.
Bad Batch was fun. Yep.
Yeah, but it's going to be great to actually jump back into the action. So Book of Boba Fett's a great appetizer. I'm ready for the entrees.
Well, also coming from Lucasfilm, we'll skip a little bit over Star Wars, because you can see I get really excited about it and start getting pumped up, and I will get loud and obnoxious with it. But coming from Lucasfilms, we have the return of Willow. Now, Willow is my child. Well, I'm going to say my teenage years. I loved Willow when it originally came out. So what can you tell us a little bit about Willow?
So one of the things about Willow, and I'm sure I'll make everyone else who's watching feel a little bit older, I wasn't even around when Willow first came out, and a lot of the cast of the show will not even have been born, much less thought of, before that movie originally came out. And now that we're getting a series about it, it's a whole new generation, but I really feel like the storytelling is very strong. And, the movie was kind of tropey, kind of funny, but it's going to be great to see how that evolves into the series and this next generation of heroes. I haven't seen anyone cast as Elora Danan yet, but we'll see how that goes. I have a feeling she'll show up at some point, but I'm very excited to see what's going on in Willow's life.
Now, I'm going to throw this out there. Is anybody else a Willow fan? Like, anybody else walk around quoting, "I stole the baby"? Like,
no,
maybe that's just me. No, I'm good with that. I'm okay with that, because
I liked the show growing up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. The first time I watched it, I was a little thrown off by the beginning, when that poor servant just gets completely destroyed. I won't say how. I was like, oh my gosh, it's this kind of a movie. I thought this was supposed to be like a fun adventure.
I loved it at that time. We got a few movies back to back that were really good. It was like Labyrinth. What was the one with Tom Cruise?
Never-ending Story.
Oh, The Never-Ending Story, of course. Legend came out, and then we got Willow. And so those movies that were in a row, Flight of Navigator, I'll even put in that. Disney's Flight of Navigator, Time Bandits.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so it's like that group or that year that those all took place was such a wonderful wonderful year growing up. So I'm really happy to see kids get to experience a little bit of that. Okay, let's talk about what everybody else is talking about. I'm talking about Star Wars. Everybody else in this world is talking Marvel. So what do we have coming this year in Marvel on Disney Plus?
All right, so buckle up. We've got a few titles that are going to be coming strictly to Disney Plus. We have the assembled episode of The Making of Hawkeye. So we'll get a behind-the-scenes look at Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld, Florence Pugh, as they're all making the new series. I can't wait to see more about how they worked with Aliqua, as she is a deaf actress. So it's going to be great to see how the cast was able to meet her and help her to succeed in the series as well, as she's moving forward into her Echo series. And even though that's not this year, I am still excited for that one. We also have Moon Knight that's going to be starring Oscar Isaac, who already looks like he's having way too much fun in the role with the little teases that we're getting from him. I'm also excited, but that's supposed to be in the second half of the year. As for the first half, we're supposed to be getting She-Hulk and Miss Marvel any day now, and if I woke up and it was on Disney Plus tomorrow, I wouldn't be mad, but I have a feeling we're probably going to have to wait a couple more months. My feeling is, though, we'll definitely get Miss Marvel before the Marvel is coming out in November, but we'll get to that. And then She-Hulk should be coming soon. And my only real concern is that we've had a lot of reshoots recently, and we're not just talking the Disney Plus shows. We've had it for Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness, but we have had it for She-Hulk and Miss Marvel as well. And I'm hoping that what they're doing is they're listening to the focus groups and they're giving us a better story. So hang on tight. It's going to be worth the wait.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it. I know they are doing focus groups, and I know She-Hulk. If you go into the underground and try and find out a lot of things, wasn't received as well as other, like Hawkeye, Loki. They hit it out of the park. So now hearing that they're doing reshoots, it seems to me like they just want to bring their standard up to what's been going on already, and they want to put out the best show. I know Disney does not want to have somebody go out and go, yeah, that show sucked, skip Marvel. So I would imagine they're trying to get as much work done on these shows as possible.
And that's the thing, is you got to appreciate that as a fan, that it's a studio listening to people. That's a very rare thing where a studio actually will change and they'll spend millions to do it, to get you the right story. And I'm glad to see Marvel stepping up and doing that. I know we're also going to be getting Eternals here in a week, though, that was already in theaters back in 2021. We're going to be getting that here on January, I believe it is the 12th is when that begins streaming on Disney Plus. So that's
I cannot wait for Eternals.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else? Miss Marvel, you mentioned. She-Hulk, you mentioned. I mean, that's a lot coming.
Ant-Man?
But we're gonna get to Ant-Man. We're gonna get to Ant-Man.
That got pushed to 2023.
Yeah.
What about
okay?
Is Thor coming out?
Oh yeah. Don't you worry. We're on it.
Yeah, we're on it, buddy. We got you right now. In fact. Let's go that way. So there's a lot coming to Disney Plus. We love Disney Plus. But what's going to get me out to a movie theater? I love seeing movies on a big screen. I love IMAX. I'm still one of those people who loves 3D movies. So what do we got going on that's going to take us out to a movie theater and get the big thing of popcorn for $5 or $10, however expensive it is in your neighborhood? What's going to keep me just hand to mouth with popcorn at a movie theater with some friends?
Well, you better start saving up now, because I got at least 6 titles for you. So we've got Pixar's Turning Red. That's going to be coming out on March 11th, and that's going to be starring Rosalie Shine as Mei Li. We've got Sandra Oh coming as Mei Li's overprotective mother, Ming. And it's going to be a coming-of-age story about Mei Ling and dealing with a family, the way she looks at it, a curse, but we'll see if that stands up as the story progresses. That's going to be a great one to bring the family to. So,
and it looks cute. It does look really cute. Now, is that Pixar or is that Disney? I mean, is it coming from Pixar Films, or is it coming from Walt Disney Pictures Animation?
I believe that is coming from Pixar, but let me double check here.
Because
You might be
there's two
right.
different styles, because Walt Disney World Animation gives us the Frozen, they just put out Moana. What was the brand new Encanto? So there's a different style between how Pixar puts it out and how Walt Disney Animation puts it out.
I was correct. It is Pixar. Making me doubt myself there for a second.
No, I didn't mean to make it. No, you know exactly what you're doing. I did that to you. That was on me because it was. I love Pixar stuff.
Almost got me.
Almost every movie that Pixar has ever put out, I love. So I'm going to this going, oh, it's a Pixar film. Great. I'm probably going to love it no matter what.
Oh, if you can't tell, I might be a little bit of a Pixar fan. A little representation going on with my my Pixar Spirit jersey.
Well, I've got Marvel and Star Wars, so you can't
beat
that.
There you go. But yeah,
I have lemons.
I'm very excited to see. That's going to be a great one for if anyone's got an early spring break going on. That's going to be a great one to bring the family out to and get out of the house a little bit. So I'm very excited for that one. Moving back into Marvel, we have Doctor Strange 2 coming out on May 6th. And that is going to bring back Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, Xochitl Gomez, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. Oh my goodness, I'm going to butcher this.
You got it. You got it.
You can do it.
Ejiofor, as well as Benedict Wong and Rachel McAdams. And we are supposed to be getting some surprise cameos thanks to the reshoots. So those are very tight-lipped over at Marvel Studios on who
right
that
now.
is going
Doctor
to
Strange is the newest trailer dropped, and that was actually the final scene after the credits on Spider-Man: No Way Home. Correct?
Yes, and I'm so excited.
Spoiler.
we're far enough from that now. We're far enough removed, and they've premiered that now as a teaser trailer. But yes, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
What about this article you just wrote over here?
Which one is that? Oh, yeah. So we might be looking at potentially a new leader of the Avengers. So I know Icarus joked about that in Eternals, but it looks like Marvel, according to a statement that was made for Marvel Studios in Japan, they labeled him as a central Avengers character, meaning that he would then be moving into basically the A-list of the superheroes. So more than likely, he'll be stepping up along with the Scarlet Witch, potentially a few other characters that we may or may not have seen. Bruce Banner's still in there. We obviously still have Hawkeye, and as we're moving forward with that and learning more, it'll be very interesting to see this new lineup as we're entering into Phase 4. And really, we're starting to get established there, so it's more now a continuation of what's coming. So I'm very excited to see the outcome of that.
Oh, it just looks amazing.
And I gotta say, I know we've seen 2 Stranges. I hear there's a third, so we'll see.
I hope so. He's my favorite.
Boy, I hope that article is on Chip & Co. so people can read that one, because I'm not going into too deep on that one. So the next thing we have coming out after that would be another Pixar film, Lightyear, which should be the backstory of Buzz from Toy Story?
So yeah, think of it as Tim Allen voices he's the voice of the toy, and the toy is based on a person, and that person is Buzz Lightyear, the astronaut. So the thing is that we're going to get Chris Evans in the role, so he is voicing the new Buzz to us, but really he is the original Buzz in the canon, if that makes any sense.
That explained it so well to me. I was trying to figure out what was going on.
If you guys want to watch it, a little teaser.
You got the trailer. Ooh,
let's put a teaser up there, Chip.
No, I can't hear it, so you have to give me a thumbs up that the audio is working.
All right.
GNC, go. Vital, go. Guide, go. Flight.
Cabin pressurization is underway.
As we prepare for ignition. Flight recorders are on. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have liftoff.
There's a star waiting in the sky. We'd like to come and meet us, by things he blow our minds. There's a star Waiting in the sky. It's glorious not to die. Because it's always people. Let the children use it. Let the children use it. Let all the children boogie.
To infinity.
And
I mean,
sorry,
what
that
else
looks
do you
really
say?
Teaser.
That looks
That is
amazing.
really good.
That's having Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie, and you watch that and you know whatever that cat is gonna blow up. That's gonna be like the merchandise. Everybody's gonna be fighting down at the Emporium for that cat.
And my ears might be deceiving me, but that sure sounds like Taika Waititi, the director for Thor Ragnarok, if I'm listening carefully enough. I know he's cast in a mysterious role, but that might be him.
You're better than I on that one because I didn't dive that deep yet. But man, Lightyear looks amazing. You guys just got to see. We just put the trailer up. All right, following that, we have what's next after that? Thor, Love and Thunder,
Yeah,
Natalie
we've got
Portman.
Thor. Yep, Thor Love and Thunder. So speaking of Taika Waititi, we've got Thor Love and Thunder coming out July 8th. That is going to be our big summer blockbuster when it comes to Disney and Marvel movies. We've got Chris Hemsworth coming back, Natalie Portman returning to the MCU. We've got Tessa Thompson, and coming in as his first role within the MCU is going to be Christian Bale as Gore the God Killer. So I'm very, very interested to see how this is going to go. And one of the awesome things about this is we're now getting to see iterations of characters in Marvel that are not the standard array. So we are going to be getting Natalie Portman not just as Jane Foster, but she is going to be becoming the Mighty Thor. So not just Lady Thor or anything like that, the Mighty Thor. And another great thing that we're going to be bringing up here this week, and you'll be able to read about in a couple days, is that we are going to get a reforged Mjolnir according to some new artwork that has been released. So I'm very excited to see how that's all going to go down. And it's going to be an absolute blast. From my understanding, it's going to be completely bonkers. The cast is super excited. I think that they're bouncing off the walls just as much as we are about this movie. So I can't wait to see it.
I bet. And this one actually was was due out last year. So it's just been sitting waiting for people to see it. So I can't wait for that. All right. Following that, what else? I mean, we have another Marvel movie following that one.
We sure do. So like I said, I am 100% sure that Miss Marvel will be coming out before this series. But we will be getting The Marvels, which is the Captain Marvel sequel. That's going to be starring Brie Larson, Teyana Parrish, and Iman Vellani, who is our Kamala Khan for Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
The director is going to be Nia DaCosta, and this is going to be one of the first movies that we get to see Captain Marvel really team up with other people that aren't just the Avengers for the big battle at the end. This is really going to test her mettle as a leader. We also are probably going to get some resolution on that conflict that we saw in WandaVision when, you saw Monica react to hearing about Carol. There was something there. So hopefully we'll get some resolution on that. I'm very excited to see that. And rounding out the end of our year is going to be the long-awaited Avatar sequel. Still doesn't have a title. It's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
Before we get too deep in that, I do want to say Michael Jones has been making some amazing comments on here. Mjolnir still has all sorts of cracks in it. Go back to Miss Marvel for a second. Brie Larson looks amazing. I can't wait to see her in this role. Now, again, as you were just going to Avatar 2. Again, we have no title for Avatar 2. It is the most. That movie is the one I'm looking forward to the most. I love Avatar. I love the movie. I probably saw that 7 or 8 times in an IMAX living up in Philadelphia. And then we saw it probably a whole bunch of times, not in IMAX 3D. Avatar 2 looks spectacular. James Cameron, what do you think? Is it what's going on with it? Now you can give me everything. Give me more Avatar. Give me more blue people. Give me the Na'vi.
So December 16th is when you can expect to be seeing this in theaters. Again, finally, it was supposed to be coming out the last couple of years. It kept getting postponed because of COVID, but now we have a set date, and we'll be getting the sequels to that supposedly every alternating year from here on out. fingers crossed that stays on schedule. But we have Sam Worthington coming back as Jake Sully. We've got Zoe Saldana, who's also gearing up for Guardians, but that's a whole other story, as Neytiri. And then we've got Kate Winslet joining the cast. So she's reuniting with James Cameron on this project. I am not sure the character pronunciation, but I believe the character's name is Ronal. It's Ronal. So I don't know what the pronunciation is yet. They've been very quiet about that, but they have shared the name. And this movie is, I'd say blow it out of the water, but that's actually a little too accurate.
Right. So with James Cameron, obviously in the past he's done. I want to sell. I just lost the name of it. The underwater movie he did back in
The Abyss.
The Abyss. I had it earlier. Like we talked about it. I was like, oh, he did The Abyss. I just threw that out there. Now I'm trying to talk about it. I'm like, I don't remember. So his underwater camera shooting, besides doing the Titanic where he went underwater and they did the search for Titanic. And then he did Titanic, but he didn't really do a lot of the underwater stuff on that, except for the roving explorer. So this all takes place underwater. Is that what's going on here?
So a good portion of this movie is going to be taking place underwater. One of the reasons that the sequel was so pushed back is that James Cameron was a stickler about the quality of work that he was going to be putting out. So one of the things that he was waiting for is the newer technology that was specifically meant for underwater motion capture, or mocap for those who are more in the industry. We featured a lot of the photos of that in our previous posts of them filming the different takes. We've got we have actors that are doing what it looked to be like dance or swimming, almost like choreography under the water, as well as the characters who are using, pool noodles and like posts with fabric just to see kind of like the feel of how like what appears to be some sort of like fin or wings that kind of, or tail that go under the water, kind of mimicking that movement for the animators to then be able to put the VFX over. But the thing is that he was very, very strict about it, because he said, you've got, like, not to call it out, but you've got movies like Aquaman where it just looks like people are just kind of flying through water and they don't actually appear to be swimming, because the skin does things that it wouldn't do on land. The hair moves in, different ways, and it's more controlled by the current. So he was very keen on catching up with the technology before releasing this film, because he wants to put the best story out there. And I honestly, as a film lover, that means a lot to me as a viewer, because that means that we're trying to get, again, the best stories possible.
Right. So we can go back a little bit with James Cameron. He's always advanced movie making. I know how big Avatar was, and I think Avatar broke Best Buy with everybody wanted to go to 3D and 4K or at 1080p. I think 4K was just coming out then.
Yeah,
but people wanted to upgrade their stuff, and absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to see that. So what do you think about the new movie? Is he going to be coming out? Is it going to be 3D? Are we going to have that going on again?
I feel like we're definitely going to get IMAX. I'm not quite sure about the 3D. I'm sure there's going to be a variant for it, but at the moment, I think it's going to strictly be more digital and IMAX. Another great thing, too, is that we know that Avatar 2 and 3 have finished principal photography, so now those are in post-production, and we are now moving into their filming for Avatar 4 and 5, even though some of those sequences have been filmed simultaneously. That's a huge undertaking. Huge undertaking.
Okay, so we have to get off the entertainment because we're running out of time here. We got about 15. There's so much to talk about. It's 2022. Bobby, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for putting something in the chat. We appreciate it tonight, guys. Now, of course, we are a Disney World news site, so we have to talk about Walt Disney World. 2022 looks to be a big year, but let's go back for just a second. Josh Gad was in the park and filmed a cute 1-minute skit. What do you guys think about that? Are you guys a Josh Gad fan? I loved seeing him do this commercial.
Yeah, I liked it.
he's always good for a laugh.
I think it's let's put that one up because it's a quick minute. I would absolutely love seeing this because I love Josh Gad.
Hi, I'm Josh Gad, this guy's other half, and this is my Walt Disney World hour minute.
Good morning to Josh, where are we today?
I'm in front of a naturally formed glacial waterfall in Epcot's Norway.
I love his sense of humor.
Considered the Norway of its generation.
You're here at Walt Disney World with your family today. What do you have planned?
The question is what don't we have planned? My kids like to go basically until the point that I drop. So it's going to be a wonderful day. But also for my legs, a very painful and excruciating day.
You've played a few characters, including Olaf and LeFou. Which Disney character do you think you're most like in real life?
Ursula.
As a native Floridian, what's it like being at Walt Disney World during the 50th anniversary celebration?
Humid, but also as magical as the first day I ever came. It's amazing to see everything looking bright and shiny and new, as if it was basically just constructed.
Can you give us a hint about what you're working on next?
I can only say that it rhymes with Beauty and the Feast prequel series on Disney Plus.
Have your daughters met Olaf at Walt Disney World before? What was their reaction?
The reaction was basically similar to every day of their lives, because basically from breakfast until dinner, they meet Olaf on a daily basis.
And last question, what is your go-to karaoke song?
I like to challenge myself, so it's either I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston and Dolly Parton, or Public Domain's Happy Birthday.
Thanks, Josh. Have a magical day.
Have a magical day.
Just, I can absolutely say if I was the voice of Olaf, I would be doing it everywhere, and my kids would be so sick of it, just all the time. So, Josh Gad was in the parks this week. Going on some of the other news before we get into 2022. We have 50th anniversary treats. In case people don't realize, some of them are going to be disappearing, which I'm going to pull this up one more time. This is the 50th anniversary treat at the Beach Club.
I'll take it. Just pass it.
Yeah, I absolutely will. No, I'm going to eat that. But a lot of them are going away. January, this month. I think the 9th, somewhere around there. All of a sudden, I lost the date. I probably should have wrote that down. So a lot of 50th treats are going, but they're being replaced with new 50th treats. And I'm telling you, the T one looks fabulous. The new cinnamon roll looks really ooey gooey. Did you get a chance to try any of the 50th treats down here, Kaitlyn?
No, very unfortunately, because I was there at the peak visiting when it first was taking place on October 1st. Most of the snacks were gone, or you had to be like at the door right as they were getting out of the oven or from the decorating tables. Unfortunately, I really didn't get to try too much. I did get to try a couple things at the Ganachery, one of my favorite stops. But I unfortunately didn't get my hands on some of the really good stuff.
I tell you, we've tried almost everything, and we've written an article about every cupcake you could possibly have. Walt's chili is fantastic. So
your blood sugar should be through the roof.
We are actually going to be starting a diabetic Disney diet once I figure out how to do that. Let's see. What else is new? Speaking of diabetic, right into Gideon's. Why do I have to talk about Gideon's after talking about diabetes? Gideon's. Oh, those are Disney Springs. Banana bread, chocolate chip cookie, and iced coffee for this month. Fabulous. Did you get a chance to stop at Gideon's yet?
No, there's always a long line every time I try to go.
There's always a long line. And very unfortunately, I have some bakery allergies. So I have to be highly cautious. And unfortunately, Gideon's has too many options that potentially could cause me to have an allergic reaction.
I'm telling you,
I don't get to enjoy
Kaitlyn,
the goodness, but it looks amazing.
So we know Steve, the owner, who is a fabulous, wonderful person. And I bet you if you brought it up to him, he would be able to work around dietary needs like that, because he loves the people that want to shop there and he wants to make everybody happy. So you have to talk to Steve about that and try. I'm sure it's not just you. I'm sure it's other people also.
Well, maybe I'll get to see him. I'll be down at Walt Disney World here at the end of the month. Fingers crossed. And, hopefully we stay in very good health so that way we can continue our trip. But maybe I'll be able to get with Steve.
Come down. We will have the greatest time. Oh, you've been a cast member here, so you know every in and out. So I need to follow you around the parks. Speaking of the parks, I'll
be your tour guide, Barbie.
Carousel of Progress. Just a little bit of revamping. They didn't change the show or anything. It's not gone. They didn't shut it down. Everybody relax. Carousel of Progress got rid of the turnstiles kind of going in and out of the building. It used to be the turnstiles where they would count people on how many people were going in and out or going in, sorry. The counters haven't worked for years. The turnstiles were kind of inconvenient. They're now gone. Anything about that? Like, it's just kind of, it's a non-news. We're hoping that maybe it is due for an update. What do you think?
So I do have to say Carousel of Progress is one of my favorite attractions at Magic Kingdom. I know it's a very 50-50 split among Disney Parks fans, but the nostalgia factor is real with that ride. And
it belongs in the Ride Hall of Fame.
And I do think that they could potentially do some upgrades, maybe as the Century is rolling around now from the upgrade, that we may be able to get an upgrade in that last and final room where it shows some of the futuristic gear, because some of that we do have nowadays. So it may not be as much of a surprise factor as it used to be in like the 80s and 70s. But what'll be really cool is if they could kind of use that to show some technology that has upgraded and we'll be able to use and add some more elements to the show. But for the most part, I like it as is. It's my perfect segue to watching the 3 o'clock parade. I go on the ride at like 1:30.
Which is a perfect segue to our next thing.
That's awesome. You can actually take a good nap in there too. So
and the AC is great in the summer.
Oh, and that's 22-minute power nap is awesome. Holly saying it's one of her favorite rides. We got a few other people in the chat saying it's their absolute favorite. It's a good relaxing time, and I love John. I love Sarah. I love the dog. I don't know, that dog shows up every once in a while in someplace else.
He's immortal. He doesn't die.
That dog is going to be around well past us.
Well, and let's just say, you know that Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow definitely is a good song to get stuck in your head as you're transitioning to the next stuff. And like I said, for me, that's going to watch Festival of Fantasy normally, but that's been away for a while. But I hear there's an upgrade on that, huh, Greg?
Yeah, we actually have a few things coming back to the parks this year, which I'm really excited about. Let's start with Kaitlyn. What's your favorite thing coming to the park this year?
My favorite thing coming to the parks this year that I'm the most excited for is definitely the Guardians Rewind Coaster. I am so excited to see the technology, like following along with that and how they're going to be manipulating the ride while you're in motion, and the new launch that is supposed to be in reverse. So, think if you were to go on Rock and Roller Coaster, but the limo's in reverse. Like, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see what they're doing. And the dual track system is phenomenal. I think that's going to help out keep the lines down. And I am all for that if they want to keep doing that.
You probably didn't hear us talking about last week where I got to go in it and look at it before it opened.
Oh,
yeah.
So
you're going to have to go back and watch the
We're going to spend some time on Guardians coming up, so we're not going to go too in-depth with that right now because that has been the big news forever. But what is coming back, we have, as you were putting it earlier, the 3 p.m. parade is coming back. Festival of Fantasy Parade will be making a return. Early 2022, they said. I love the parade. Along with that, we have the new Disney Adventure Friends Cavalcade, which will have Nick and Judy from Zootopia, which we just talked about. We're going to have Baloo and King Louie's going to be on there for the Jungle Book, the Three Caballeros, Miguel from Coco, Moana, The Incredibles, a whole list of new Disney Adventure Friends Cavalcade is coming, along with the return of the parade. So, Kaitlyn, what are you? Are you a parade or a cavalcade person?
I gotta say, I am very partial to the parades. I absolutely love to see as many characters as I can. I don't mind sitting down and taking a beat to just enjoy the magic in the moment. That's one of the things that I love to do every time I go. I always warn people that I go with of like, hey, listen, you can do whatever you want. At 3 o'clock, I am sitting my butt down for the parade. And I
have to ask you, what's your favorite spot to Chip? And I'm going to get to you on this one also. But Kaitlyn, you first. What's your favorite spot to watch the parades?
So I've got a couple spots, but the primary ones are, like I said, I like to go do Carousel of Progress beforehand because it gets you nice and cool before you go out to sit in the heat for a while. And I usually come out right by the Edie's ice cream shop, right at that corner when you come up from Tomorrowland. And I like to stand right over there. Yeah, right on the corner, because you get a little more time with the characters and the floats because they have to turn. So it gives them about 30 to 45 more seconds with you rather than on some of the longer stretches of the road. And then right over by Liberty Square where that bridge is, that is another great spot to park yourself, especially because once the parade moves through there, you can just enter in, and while everyone's still down at Main Street watching the parade, you get to go on the rides. So those are my two favorite parts.
Yeah. Chip, what's your favorite place to go for the parade or cavalcade?
I like to because I'm usually there working, I always try to get the castle in the background. So I try to get right there on Main Street. I'll park myself there so I can get the castle. Usually a person as tall as Greg will come and stand in front of me, even though I've been standing there for like an hour. So anywhere I get, it's
that guy is
usually a tall
me.
person.
Every time you are standing there, I just get right in front of you because I'll tell you my secret of where you want. Yes, getting in front of the castle is amazing. Yes, being on Main Street. Those are iconic pictures, spots. You guys want to see that. My favorite is in Adventureland, right before it turns into Frontierland. Over by Pecos Bill, there's a wall over there that's about 7 feet long. And you are allowed to sit on the wall. Your feet are not allowed to touch the ground. And nobody can stand in front of you, and you have the parade to yourself, basically. It's a magical, wonderful.
You just ruined it. Now everybody's going to go there.
They're not going to know where I'm talking about. It clears up. Yeah, let me go. Okay, so what else do we have coming back this year? We have the other big thing is Fantasmic. Fantasmic is coming back this year. I know you worked at Hollywood Studios doing different things, and you love seeing Mickey there. What did you used to do? You were on the tram cars, right?
Yeah, so I worked trams in the parking lot, which may not sound glorious, but it was actually one of the most fun roles that I had while working at Disney. And the great part is that at night, there's this nice little spot where when you're out on the trams, you can actually see the mountain. So you can see like Maleficent up top. You can see Mickey at the end. And let me tell you, we all knew the cues to the fireworks by the end of the night. So it was great because we'd just be on the back of the tram, just dancing and singing along to the music, which was coming up to us over the Disney Channel. And we just had a blast with that. And what was phenomenal about it is that you get to create magic because you'd sit there and you get those guests that, you know, are heading home and stuff, but you can still be that last little bit of magic that they get before they leave for the day. And it was great to do that with Mickey.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Like, I can't wait for that to come back.
I'm so excited for Fantasmic.
I'm so excited for the cast members. And all right, so we're getting towards the end here. There's a lot coming to Walt Disney World. The only thing else I want to mention is in Central Florida, the other big thing coming out this year is over at SeaWorld. We have Icebreaker. They finally announced Icebreaker February 18th. I do believe we're going to be there that day.
Are you actually going to ride it and not like wimp out like you did today?
I'm good on roller coasters. I'm a family roller coaster man. I will be there first thing, riding that as many times as they will allow me during media day. I love me coasters like that. 2 launch points. It just looks amazing. So, Kaitlyn, are you a family coaster person? Are you a big coaster person? Where do you stand on this?
Well, with my tenure at Hollywood Studios, I do have to say that I've recorded over 500 rides with both Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror while I was working there. So, if you don't mind, I'm a pretty big coaster person, but I do like the family stuff, especially now that I have a little one. It's going to be a great way to introduce her to that thrilling part of my life and show her that, you know, mom can be kind of cool. So it'll be really fun to see. And I mean, she absolutely loves animals. So, you know, getting to visit SeaWorld and everything and showing her my old stomping ground is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for this. So I'm going to end it on probably one of these everybody has an opinion about type things. So I am really looking forward to this. I don't know who else is. Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel here at Disney World. That is going to be, that's the big thing this year. Yes, Guardians is there, but a hotel where I can be part of Star Wars for a few days and live my best Jedi life is coming up in March. What are you hearing about Star Wars out there? Because I know on Chip and Co, we've covered both positive and negative. What do you think about the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser?
Personally, I think it's going to be a great experience for Star Wars fans. I think a lot of any hesitation that people might be having is that they might not have known what they signed up for, meaning like they may not have known that once you're in there, you're there. It's not really like it's not going to really be like a come and go kind of thing. It's supposed to be an experience where you are, you know, in and immersed into the world of Star Wars. So I think that might be something that maybe turned a few people off of it. But I do have to say, if that's been on your radar and you are a huge Star Wars fan and you want to feel like you are a part of that story, I think this is the time to start booking. I mean, we've got some great people that can work with you. And I mean, personally, I would love to get on that list. Hint, hint.
Yeah, I mean, the bookings are opening up right now. And look, I know there's some negativity around it, but we haven't seen it. We haven't been inside. Nobody really knows what's going on in there. What I think a friend of mine said the other day is, what happens if you've taken your money back and you're not going to do it, and then you find out it's the most magical thing that has ever happened? Where are you going to stand at that point? Look, we don't know what's going on. I listen, if you want to go try, if you want to make a booking right now, our travel agent, Destination to Travel, Sarah, she's one of our travel agents at Chip & Co.
Got Jessica too.
Jessica is there. She's one of our travel agents. We have a few travel agents that work with Destination to Travel. If you need any Walt Disney World bookings, if you are coming to Disneyland, if you're going anywhere in this world, Destination to Travel is where you want to go. So, Kaitlyn, thank you so much. Chip, thank you so much. Kaitlyn, real quick.
What I'm looking forward to?
What are you looking forward to, my friend?
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can cue it up here.
Maybe you should have queued it up first, because now we're all hanging on. Like, what is he looking forward to?
What is it?
This right here.
Oh, why do you do that to me? I was in the audience for that. And see, I can't speak about it still. It's 2 months later, and I still get choked up talking about it. Margot, how are you today? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. This is your first time. We appreciate it. Michael, thank you so much. So Kaitlyn Hogenkamp, thank you so much. You are the entertainment writer here at Chip & Company. Your knowledge is vast, and you bring us all the good news. Where can people get you at, Kaitlyn?
Sure. So you can find me. Yep, you can find me on Instagram at Kaitlyn Hogenkamp. Sorry, it's a long one. And then I'm also on Twitter at Kate of VV, Kait of VV. So I like to share some snippets. Sometimes I'll share some stuff about press conferences, or if I get to see stuff before everybody else does. I won't spoil anything. I promise. I'm really good about that. But I do got to say, there's been a great opportunity in 2021 to really dive into these stories and see where we're going. And I think 2022 is really going to be the jumping off point where we get to take off once again back into the magic of storytelling. I'm so excited to see where we're going.
I'm absolutely with you. Thank you, Kaitlyn. We will see you again next week as we come to you live from Walt Disney World every week. Chip is the owner of Chip & Company. Chip & Co. You put me up first. See, I always go to you first, buddy. Like, you're the important one here.
No, I'm the sick one.
Yeah, you are the sick. So everybody, please help me in wishing Chip well. Him and his family, we're going to make sure that they get all the love and prayers and everything else that is needed to get them over the sickness. We want him to feel better. Chip can be reached, obviously, chipandco.com, Chip & Company on Facebook, Chip & Company on YouTube. If there's a Chip, and he's probably there. Chip, thank you so much for hosting us tonight. And myself. Myself, who am I? Okay, but guys, I'm Greg from Florida Fanatics. We are two families who got together and started a YouTube page to talk about organization called Give Kids the World, which is in Central Florida and grants Wish Kids a week stay. And so we try to make sure that we work with Give Kids the World, and we try and one part of our family, the Jackleys, their son and daughter, Kellen and Kaitlyn, are child ambassadors for Give Kids the World. So Give Kids the World is very important to us.
You were just on the news too, weren't you?
Yes, Kellen was just on the news yesterday on the local CBS affiliate here in Orlando. Just did an amazing job. The channel just hit 500 subscribers. Look, there it is. There's my man. Kellen is such an amazing young man. Like, this kid is, again, we're all going to be working for him one day in the future. So I want to say hi to the Jackleys, say hi to Kellen. My man he's amazing. Tommy, his father, Stacy. Stacy's been on the chat tonight. She's an amazing, amazing mother, along with the rest of us. So Florida Fanatics, that's PHL. Yeah, see, I put it up that way. People are like, why? So being from Philly, you have to spell it differently. So PHLORIDAFUNATICS, Florida Fanatics. on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much. Chip, thank you so much. Kaitlyn, thank you so much. Guys, every Wednesday, 7 p.m., I'll be in a different spot every week this year. So if you guys want me to broadcast from anywhere, let us know in the comments. Go to Chip and Co's Instagram. Kellen says hi. Kellen, thank you so much for watching. This is so awesome. Thanks, guys. Chip,
You're going to be live here in a second, aren't you?
Yeah, going live for Harmonious. Yes, we are. We're going to be live in about, what are we at, 8:05? I got to run. So I got to run over to Epcot, and we got to go do this. So, guys, join us in a few minutes on Facebook and on Florida Fanatics and everywhere else. Guys, thank you so much. Kaitlyn, Chip, have an amazing night. We'll see you guys later.
You too. Enjoy the fireworks.
Bye.
Bye.